Hey, what's up guys, Caboose XBL bringing you another video, and today we're going to be talking about is the supposed Superman game that might currently be in development by none other than Rocksteady Studios. That's right, you heard me right, and we're going to go into detail about this and my speculation towards some of these leaks that could possibly end up being true. Now, we already know that I've been talking a whole lot about the Damian Wayne Batman game and tons of leaks that have been surfacing on that end, but we also know that Rocksteady have been the front runners that have led the ship of the Arkham series from beginning to end. So what was their next endeavor? Everyone was wondering, well, what are they going to do after Batman Arkham Knight? After all the DLC is done and they are finished with the Batman franchise, are they going to completely ditch comic books and create a brand new IP? Or are they going to stick to the comic book side of things and maybe even make a Superman game, as many people are speculating? Well, we have some leaks, we have some information, and I have some speculation on why a Superman game could be a possibility from Rocksteady Studios, so let's get into that. But right before we do, I actually wanted to ask you guys once again to hit that like button. You guys did great on the last video. We reached the milestone 1,000 likes, so let's just aim for that again. If we can hit 1,000 likes on this video, that would be badass and I would really appreciate it. So hit that like button and let's just get right into the topic that we have today about this Superman game possibly being developed by Rocksteady Studios. Now, the main outlet that this leak comes from is actually something that I covered in a video previously talking about the Damian Wayne Batman game. And I feel stupid for having missed this in the first place because he does mention in that same Reddit post that I was talking about in that video, the Batman one, that Rocksteady is working on a Superman game, and he goes into some detail about what's going on with this Superman game. So it's here in this Reddit post. Again, I'm going to link it in the description box so you can check it out yourself. The actual Arkham stuff has been since removed, and that's some speculation for another day, but all the comments that he's replied to and a lot of his responses to most people's questions is still up, including this whole information that he has about Rocksteady's Superman game. So let me just read this out for you. As for what Rocksteady is working on, they started work on a Superman game but have run into many issues. Superman had to be depowered for part of the game, and even at maximum strength, they had him be much weaker than he normally is. There are skins that make him unstoppable. The plot saw him facing off against magical foes as well as familiar faces like Lex Luthor and Metallo that would utilize kryptonite. There was also challenge mode, much like in Arkham games, and the plan was to announce the game at the Video Game Awards in 2016, but that fell apart. He then goes on to talk about this alternate skin system in which you can collect a lot of skins for Superman that buff or debuff the character. He says that a lot of these skins are some that come from the comic books, most that come from the movies, and you can even play as Zod and Nuclear Man from the Superman 4 Christopher Reeves films. This all sounds really cool, but too good to be true to an extent. The biggest thing that's too good to be true for me is this collectible skin system, in that you can unlock all these skins for Superman, these different incarnations of the character from the movies or the comic books, and be able to use them in the game with their own specific buffs or debuffs for the character. First of all, that sounds very similar to the gear system in Injustice 2. And second of all, I think that's too good to be true because of the way that WB usually would handle collectible skins in these types of games. I mean, with Arkham Knight as a prime example, every single unlockable skin in Batman Arkham Knight was something you had to get through paid DLC. Now, granted, there were some awesome skins. I mean, the Batman v Superman bat suit and stuff like that was great. But my point is that none of the skins you could unlock through in-game stuff. I mean, granted, there was the gold bat symbol bat suit that you get from 240% completion, but even then you have to own Season of Infamy to be able to get to 240% completion. So that's why I don't think that WB would even allow Rocksteady to do this collectible skin system, because they would want people to pay for the skins, you know? A Christopher Reeve Superman skin, people would go bananas over that, and they would want them to pay for it because they know they can just get more money out of the game that way. However, on the flip side of things, if there's one studio that can put their foot down and get what they want, it's Rocksteady. They've done enough for WB games with the Arkham franchise to get some stuff that they want. So I feel if there's any studio who could allow this feature to make it through without making people pay for the skins, it would be Rocksteady. They would be the ones to put their foot down and say, hey, listen, we've done enough for you guys with the Arkham franchise. let us have this one feature. As for any news or leaks or anything like that about this supposed Superman game, there really hasn't been much. I mean, all we've really heard besides what I've mentioned to you just here from this Reddit post is stuff that we've heard Rocksteady employees talk about in terms of what's next for the studio and what game they're going to be working on next. And in saying that, they really don't say much. Obviously, they can't release anything, so this is all we have to go off of. Number one, Daxkin mentioned in an interview a while back saying that after they've done the Arkham series, Rocksteady is now working on their dream game. And that could mean anything, to be honest. That could mean that they are working on a new superhero game. They're working on a new DC property. Maybe this supposed Superman game. But it could also mean that they're working on a brand new IP. They're doing something completely unique, something that isn't based off of a comic book or a superhero or anything like that. And they just want to build a brand new game because maybe they're a little tired of working on these Batman games and being so heavily involved in the comic book world. But if I could be honest, if I'm going to put my money on it, I think no matter what, the next project that Rocksteady is working on is something DC related. WB and DC have too tight of a relationship, and Rocksteady has done so much with both of those companies that I don't think they would want to do something brand new, that they would more so want to work on, say, a Superman game. Then we also got a post from Sefton Hill on Reddit during an AMA that he did a couple weeks back where somebody asked him what's next for Rocksteady, and him replying, "We're very hard at work on our next project, but we won't be releasing the details for a while. When we do, you guys will be the first to hear, as we want to get the community involved heavily in what we do next." Now that does sound interesting. They want to get the community involved heavily in what their next project is, no matter what. So that does sound interesting, but to be honest, I'm thinking that a DC game is what's coming next, as that's where the biggest community draw even comes from in the first place. Now put on your tinfoil hats, because I've got some speculation and some theories about why I think no matter what, Rocksteady is working on a DC property and that is going to be their next project, more leaning towards a Superman game being the likely scenario. Now we know in the previous Arkham games, being Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, there really isn't much hint towards characters outside of the Batman mythos. And whenever there were, it was very subtle, a mention of Metropolis or something like that. But in Arkham Knight, being the last Batman Arkham game that Rocksteady wanted to do to conclude that franchise, there were very big hints to characters outside of the Batman mythos. In fact, there were Easter eggs towards these characters flat out existing in this Arkham universe, being Superman and characters like the Flash. You had the Keystone City poster or the Metropolis poster that you can see throughout the city in Batman Arkham Knight that had characters resembling very closely to the Flash and Superman. Lex Luthor himself leaves you a voicemail in Batman Arkham Knight when you go to Bruce Wayne's tower and check his voicemail. You can also see a LexCorp building in the city through Batman Arkham Knight. So there is a lot of heavy hints to these other characters existing outside of the Batman mythos. Hell, Superman gets a direct reference from a thug as part of random dialogue when you're gliding around the city. So it almost seemed as though Rocksteady was trying to plant this hint that, hey, we are working on another DC game, and with as much Superman Easter eggs as I've mentioned, it seems like the Superman game is the logical next step and what Rocksteady is working on next. But that's just pure speculation on my part. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that a Superman game is in development from Rocksteady Studios? Or do you think they're working on another DC property? Or do you think it's just a brand new IP altogether? I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Once again, if we can hit 1,000 likes on this video, that would be awesome. So hit that like button if you did enjoy the video. I'm Caboose XPL. You can click on screen and make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.